there. Hey. Okay, well, welcome to our call, doing the right things with the right people. And I just want to start a little bit. Look at that, Devin drinking her pink drink. I love it. Um, if you were on the Monday night call, I would love to hear some of your takeaways. I just want to start with some, and look at Amy drinking her sweet tea. I feel like I need my pink drink or something to show you. Instead, I have coffee. So there's that. Um, I would love to know what some of your takeaways were from the Monday night call. Bye, babe. I love you. Were any of you on the Monday night call?
I was just about to say, I don't know if the other girls were, but I was not able to be on that call.
Got
So
it. Okay. Well, I need to send that to you.
Madison just did, I think, this morning.
Okay. Awesome. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I had to listen to the recording. I still don't have day 14 of no power. So
I cannot even, Amy.
it's been a trying, testing my patience. But anyway, we'll make it through. So
Mhm.
anyway, but yes, I still have to go watch the recording.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. Her story is amazing. Let's see, Madison was typing something in the comment. She said, so good, so relatable and inspiring. Yeah, this woman, Madison, her name is Madison. She started the products in 2017 or 2019, went gold in 2020, and then was gold until not even maintaining gold until like August of last year. She was at like 73 points, hit gold, went to gold school that October. And then within 7 months, she exploded to emerald because she was focusing as much on herself and her personal growth and development as she was on her business. It was a great call, really, really, really. And Danny says, so fascinating when she started investing herself and working on her mindset and belief. 100%. And here's the thing, that's the thing. The most successful people in this business have the highest belief. Skill set's only 20%. Only 20%. 80% of this business is mindset. So as you are, developing your skills, as you're growing your business, take a hard look at how much time you're spending building your belief and checking your mindset. So, because that changes everything, everything. Okay, well, anybody have any questions? What you got? This call is, to help you um specifically do the right things with the people that you have, but it's just a small group of us. So let's do some open coaching. Madison and her mom are here, but on a road trip. Oh no, Melanie. She left her phone at home. Okay, who has a question, an issue?
I'm thinking about what to ask because I'm at the very beginning of this journey. And so I'm just having a lot of conversations right now and
Mhm.
dealing with obviously like a lot of objections, which Madison's been super helpful with and that aspect of things. So I'm trying to think of like a specific question to ask to utilize, but I I guess for me the something that I'm I'm fine with handling the objections with the conversations I'm already having. I think maybe for me it's starting conversations with people that I haven't talked to for a while and feeling like I don't want to feel salesy. Like,
Mhm.
and I've seen some of the template starter conversations and I still feel to me that it feels salesy. So I don't know what that looks like for me, I
Sure.
guess. Starting
Which templates are you talking about? The ones that we gave you for October or the ones in the Confident Conversation Guide?
maybe in the confident conversation guide. I've seen a few examples. Like I've screenshotted a few. I know in like the intro, one of the intro videos, I took a few screenshots of, and some of them I'm like, okay, they're really good. I mean, maybe I just need to play with tailoring them to me.
100%. Well, okay, so let's dig into this, and it's fascinating that I'm so glad you brought this up because this is an issue, Devin, that a lot of people deal with. And sometimes they deal with it even if they've been here a little bit. How do you bring up Plexus without feeling salesy? And you want to be, transformational, not just, it's really the skill of sales. Um, do you have your phone? Like, can you pull up some of the messages? Because I would love to know specifically what felt salesy, what was hard.
Um, well, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. I think I screenshotted it. But I remember it just being like, let's see. I have them in here. I'm looking. Like for example, this is a sample message, and it's just a sample, which is probably why maybe it feels that way because it doesn't have that like authentic piece.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it just went away on me. Okay, so it says like, "Hey, happy Monday. How have you guys been? I can't believe how big that sweet baby of yours has gotten. I love seeing his pics. Anyways, I just wanted to connect because I know what it's like to be super busy mama, putting everyone's needs above your own, blah, 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 blah." And for some reason, like that feels salesy to me. Like it doesn't feel authentic almost. It's like, oh, like I'm quickly touching on how are you doing so that I can have a segue into what I want to talk about.
Yeah, so this is so fascinating because Devin, I literally was having a conversation with Brittany about this morning. Okay, so what I hear you saying is the sample message is you're connecting with somebody and then, throwing her a bone basically so that you can give her a pitch, so to speak. Okay, so I think let's take a step back and what let's take a step back because I think the mindset behind reaching out to people is really, really, really critical.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What is your opinion? Like when I say the word sales, how does that make you feel?
I actually I feel pretty good about it, but that's because I have 10 years of sales under my belt. So I'm already like
I
comfortable
love
with
it.
that aspect. So sales doesn't necessarily scare me. It's the spammy type of feel
Yeah.
that I don't like, I guess.
Okay. Good. Good. So that helps me because some people, when they hear the word sales, they start twitching. They're like, ugh. But sales, there's no positive or negative just in and of itself, has no negative, no emotional charge. It just is. And done well, it's great because it's offering solutions to people, right? So, and they can take it or not. Okay, so your mindset behind sales is good. The spammy part. So let me ask you this. What do you think would make it less spammy? Because those sample messages, they are what they are. They're just samples. And here's the thing. You could put 10 different jewels in a room, and they're going to tell you different ways that they're going to go about messaging people. The key here is to figure out what is authentic to you. Let's kind of diagnose what feels authentic to you. And then how do you have conversations that are authentic? Because here's the thing, all business is conversations.
Yeah.
That's what Eric Worre, who's like the GOAT in network marketing, says. He doesn't say all business are messages. The goal is a conversation.
Right.
Ooh, that was actually really good. Thank you, Holy Spirit. The goal is a conversation. It's not the message. So how you go about getting to the conversation is the question. So we have to figure out what's authentic to you. Now, you do have some 10 years of sales experience. I'm just curious. Tell me a little bit about that experience. Like, what have you done in the past?
So I am a hairstylist that has focused on mostly men. And so a lot of like my sales are like up servicing or products, which I was big on products. I was one of the top product sales like in our business. And it's because I can sell the things that I believe in. But there's a lot of products that I would be like, I was honest with them, like this product sucks. Like it's not going to do anything in your hair.
Yeah.
It's going to be, not give you the like I would tell them like what the experience with that product was, and when they'd be like connect like, oh, I've had that experience, like I've put this one product in my hair and that's exactly what it did, which isn't what I wanted it to do. And so I now have built that trust, like, okay, you're telling the truth because I've had this experience. And so now they trust me, the product that I am going to recommend and put in there, because I've already like I quickly built that trust. So
Yeah.
that was like my experience, I guess, with sales. A
So
big
how
one.
did you do that? Like, take me a little deeper how you did that. Like, tell me about the flow. Someone's in your chair, you're talking to them, snip, snip, snip. Tell me how you did that.
I just start asking them questions about their hair. So like, what is something that you don't like about your hair? Like what is some like what's your biggest issue with your hair is usually something that I start with people, and then they start talking to me about it, whether it's their like specific sides that likes to stick out or like whatever. So kind of asking questions to be able to diagnose the issue. And then I would just say, well, with your hair texture, this is, I'm sure that you've experienced XYZ with these types of products, and that they're not going to actually do what you want it to do. So now these products, XYZ, are what's going to be able to give you that result that you're looking for.
I am so excited. Like, if you could see me, I'm like bouncing up and down in my seats. Perfection. Perfection. So let me just respond. Okay, so you asked them questions. You were trying to diagnose their issue. And then based on what you've told me and your other and the results that you want, you did talk about, you've tried X, Y, and Z. That's why you didn't get the results. To give you the results, this is the product that will give you the results. So you didn't start by saying, someone gets in the chair, and you didn't start by saying, Probio 5 is a great probiotic. Or, Paul Mitchell has a great texture spray. You got them by asking questions. Okay, so that was the first step. So, what are your biggest issues with your hair? So let's transfer. You basically gave us a formula, which is exactly what I was going to say. Let's transfer. And well, let me ask you this. How did you feel having these conversations with people?
I felt kind of stiff-armed like was to Madison for a year. So I feel like I'm just getting the same reactions from people that I had, which I feel like is normal. Like I feel like these responses are very typical. Or I feel like there's been people I've chatted with where I just feel very excited. And sometimes when I get excited, I can just get overly passionate. And I think that can also be a turn off sometimes. Like, okay, this girl's crazy.
No, you're just excited and passionate, but I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea because I'm hot-blooded Lebanese. Okay. But when you were having conversations with people in the chair, like you're asking them questions about what's your biggest issue with your hair, and you're getting them talking, and then you're suggesting products that will help them get the results they want.
Mhm.
How did you feel about those conversations?
Confident, and I pretty good because I held myself so confidently and with authority that they didn't really question anything. They just kind of took like whatever I said and were fine with it. The only time there's been a handful of times where I feel that they resisted because they just don't want product at all, but even that never scared me because I can sell a guy a product that didn't believe that he needed it. So, because I showed them, almost didn't give them a choice of why. Like I would tell my girls all the time because I managed for a long time. I'd be like, don't ask them if they want product in their hair, because now you're giving them a choice that no is an answer and that they don't need it, because the reality is they do. If they like, it's our job to style them. So we kind of my mindset was kind of like, don't accept no. Like don't even give that an option. So you just like put what you know is going to benefit them into their hair and explain to them why you're doing it. And then they'll see why it was needed. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, a guy that's never used product before in his life is like, oh, this is actually it looks really good. Like this is amazing. Like I'll take a puck of that stuff. Like give me that, you know? So that's kind of how it was, I guess.
Okay, let me just repeat to you what you said. You talking about you felt confident, good, you held yourself with confidence, you knew you had authority, you didn't take no for an answer, you directed the conversation, it was all about them, but you felt confident because of your mindset. You knew that the products would work. You had the belief that this was the right thing. It was
Mm-hmm.
all mindset and belief.
Yeah, you're right.
But then, because you had and you felt good, you knew that you were helping them, you were giving them solutions based on their specific issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything you just said here, and then it was fun for you. Like you knew that you could sell somebody that wasn't liking products to get products because you had the belief, you understood what it was going to do for them and the result.
Yeah.
Devin, this is the same thing. It's just a different context.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. So, if you want to feel, I want you, and this is the goal for all of us to feel confident, good, holding yourself with authority.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how could you cultivate those feelings about Plexus products and that mindset?
So I've already like talked with Madison and Angela about this, but it's mainly right now has been up until this point has just been diving into the testimonials and kind of like stealing confidence from other people and like what it's done
Yes.
for him. And now I've been like a week into my own journey with it, and I've already seen positive results in just a week. So now, like, that's definitely helping to build that for myself for sure. So,
Awesome. Well, I love that. And the more you learn about, because competence will always yield confidence. And before I tell my team, and probably need to do this again, but before you sit down to message, read a couple testimonies about what the products are doing for people, read a couple stories about what the opportunity is doing for people to build your belief. And then the more you learn, I'm going to have them, Madison, I know that you can hear me, send her Brittany's insulin sensitivity video. I think her part is, I don't know, 13 or 18 minutes. And it just talks about like what Slim is doing in the body. The more you know, the more it's going to be like, the more it's kind of like, oh my gosh. And this is not the way it was for me. Like when I started learning Devin, I was like, oh my gosh, why are we not shouting this from the rooftops? Because if this is doing all of this, so you're building your belief. So you are building your belief to get to that point of confidence, right? And it's kind of like being a real estate agent. Like, okay, do you have thin or thick hair? Let me ask you that.
I have thick hair, it's just fine.
Okay. Do you still feel confident that you can recommend a product to somebody that has thin hair?
Yeah,
Why?
because I've educated myself on all hair types.
Bingo. So a little bit of your workday will be educating yourself about the products and what they're doing. That's how you're going to build your belief. Like I've never had a migraine, but I've helped lots of people with migraines. I've never had thyroid issues, but I've helped a whole lot of people with thyroid issues. Okay, now let's move on to the actual conversations. So you have them in the chair and you said you started asking them questions. So
Mhm.
what questions could you ask somebody after you connect with them about to bring up Plexus in an authentic way that keeps the focus on them? Because that was the question. What are the biggest issues with your hair? So, what question could you ask?
Is it, and just, this is probably a weird question, but like, does it feel weird to just like straight up ask, like, what are your biggest issues with when it comes to your health? Like, what are like struggles that you have when it comes to your health or like wellness? I don't know.
So, if you, I don't know, you tell me, what do you think?
I feel like a little bit maybe. It feels a little more authentic than maybe something different, but I don't know. Like that's where I think I'm searching for. It's like that. What are those questions? Like those an initial things to ask, I guess. Maybe
So,
that's.
Yes. Okay. So I see what you're saying. I think what the disconnect, where the gap is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that question. I'm curious, what's the biggest issue that you have right now in your health? Or what are your health goals? Or are you working on anything? I think the gap is, how do you get to that question? There's nothing wrong with that question because you're drawing them
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
What felt salesy to you was the bone. Oh, your baby's so cute. Let me just throw in a couple statements and then bring this up.
Yes.
That right? Am I
Yeah.
off?
No, you're right on the money.
Okay. So what you're talking about is, how do I build rapport with somebody to, in a sense, get them in the chair
Yeah.
so you can bring it up authentically and feel confident.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of different, like I said, you could ask 10 different jewels and they'll have 10 different answers, because some people are very direct and they will just come right out and ask. Now, generally, those people have a higher no resistance and they have to go through more people to get to a response. And other people will say, listen, I need to know what the need is before I'm going to pick it up. So that's the question. How do we bridge the gap, so to speak?
Yeah.
And I think it really starts with the belief and the mindset, like we just talked about. When you know that you are looking and here's the thing. I tell my team all the time, your job title is professional problem solver. Your job description is to love and serve people well. So how do I love and serve this person well? If I'm a professional problem solver, how do I uncover the problem? So connecting with people and just going back and forth. Like, say if you really, what if you just spent one or two messages connecting with people? This is
Mm.
actually, and Autumn's not on the call. I was talking to her about this last week. She and I have a very similar system where we will, send people a friend. You're still in your warm market, right? Like, you're still in you've got a lot of people you haven't talked to. So if you are talking to people, connect with them a little bit. And then after you've connected with them, you can steer the conversation because you've got the confidence in what you are doing and what you have can help them. Hey, I'm just curious if it hasn't come up already.
Mm.
Because sometimes it will come up. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, how's your job? Do you love it? How are you feeling? What are you doing in your free time? Hey, I'm just curious. What is do you have any health goals? It may be kind of a jump. I'm trying to think. Let's, how do you think you could bridge the gap?
Yeah, so like for example, I guess one conversation that felt really natural to me, but then kind of stopped once I got to that point. I need to follow back up with her. But so like I was catching up with a friend and we were just like talking about, I was like, hey, like I asked her how things were going with her and she like opened up and shared some stuff about her and then she asked about me and I opened up and told her some stuff that I was very excited about and I was overly passionate about. And then I asked if she was open to joining the Facebook group to like just learn more and she said, yeah. And then after I had added her, or after yeah, I added her. I asked, I was like, as soon as you get in there, let me know, and I'll like tag you in some things, so you can get a little more information. And then I want to know what your thoughts are. And then I haven't heard back from her, so I was like, but
Okay, so
that
go ahead.
I just say, yeah, that felt more natural. Like it was like we had a whole conversation, and then that segued into that.
Because
That's
you had a conversation going, and then how did you make the segue again?
just sharing when she had asked me after I had asked her how she was doing and she kind of laid out all of that with her and then she asked me in return like how I was doing and then I got to share things that I was passionate about in my new journey here with Plexus and what I'm
Great.
doing. So that felt very natural to me. It was like a her first, let's actually like what's going on with you, like
Yes.
actually caring about what's going on with her and waiting for her to almost like
Ask you.
yes.
Okay, so that is definitely one approach. You can totally just start asking people, comment, maybe like comment on people's wall a couple times, couple day, start the conversation. How are you? Comment on a couple of their things, and then continue to engage on their posts so that they know that you're interested in just them. And then when they ask you, you can bring it up. But then you can see how the conversation flows. I mean, think about it. If all business is conversation, what would it look like if she was there with you? What questions could you ask? What could you comment on? How do you build a connection? You're looking for connection points to bring the two of you together. So that's definitely one approach. It's tell me what's going on with you, and then she asks what's going on. Now, with her specifically, because she stopped responding to you, is that right?
Yeah, she hasn't responded yet, so I
Okay.
need to follow back up, but I didn't
When,
want to do it immediately.
yeah, when was that?
Mm, a couple of days ago now, so it's about time that I follow back up. Yeah, it was Sunday.
Yeah, that's totally fine. People are busy. It's Thursday. You can even call out if you feel like you were over enthusiastic. You could even say something like, "Listen, I hope I
Like
didn't,
scare you off with my
yeah, scare you
enthusiasm.
off. I'm just so excited about what I'm doing. I have no idea if this would be the right fit for you or not." That phrase in and of itself lets people off the hook. It lowers their sales resistance.
Yeah.
No idea if this would be the right fit for you or not. Let's back up. What are your health goals? What are the biggest issues in your health?
Okay. Yeah.
Just like what are the biggest issues with your hair?
Yeah. That's helpful.
For her. Okay, so let's come up with another question. You're talking to people, making it about them, because here's the reality too. The person who talks the least is the one who wins. You want to draw them out with questions.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, one trigger, I mean one not one trigger, one tool is Christina shared this on a mentorship call a couple weeks ago. One way she does that is as she's talking to people and you're connecting, if it's not making a natural transition, I thought this was genius. She just says, while I have you, I'm curious. I know this seems out of the blue. I'm curious. What's the biggest issue in your health right now? How does that sound? How does that feel?
I think that feels pretty good. Because I feel like we're all struggling with something related to our health. I mean, here in America, I mean, I feel like we all got something going on. So I feel like it's a fair question, especially if when your motive is that you just care about people and you want to help them. So I feel like
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. You could even tag that on. I feel like we all have something here in America.
Mhm. Yeah, it feels pretty good.
And when you keep that as your motive, and that's very clear in who you are, like you're a connector, you care about people, and keeping them at the center, and even those little phrases, I have no idea if this would, once she tells you, then you can keep asking questions. I'm so sorry that you've been dealing with this. How long have you been dealing with this? What have you tried in the past? So you don't just launch into, I got something that can help you. Here's 10 easy steps, and here's a link.
Yeah.
You can see what they've tried. Has it worked? Just like you did with the hair.
Oh, yeah.
And then you say, it's so fascinating. Those issues are related to gut health, blood sugar balance, and inflammation. Are you open to taking a look?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that feels pretty authentic, I think, to me. Because yeah, like it just does kind of transfer. Like it's just different language, but the same at the same
Exactly. It's like the same formula, but a different context.
time.
100%. Devin, you're going to be
Yeah.
fantastic. Like 100%.
I'm I'm feeling pretty good. I told Madison, I said, I have actually had a lot of confirmation, I feel like just from God about this journey and it's very exciting because I don't feel like I've had confirmation in a long time about anything. And I feel like I've just been like wrestling with like, what do you want me to do for years? And it's nothing's ever felt like this is the thing, but I just feel at peace with this. And I know it's more of a long-term game, so
Yes.
I am trying to keep that in the like the front of my perspective too, of like this is not like a gonna fix everything right now that's going on in my life, but I know that it's like long term. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited. Yeah, I have a lot of confidence and faith with this journey because, like I said, I got a lot of confirmation from him. So it's pretty clear that this is what I'm supposed to be doing here with y'all. So I'm excited.
Well, I love hearing that. I love it. And this call is being recorded. So if you want, you can go back to write some of these phrases down to help you. I'm actually going to type some of this up because I think a lot of people can benefit from this whole conversation, just the questions and the flow.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, way to go. I hope this was very, I think this is going to be very helpful for everybody. I know it was very helpful for me.
Good. Thank you for your time
You're
and for
welcome.
help.
You bet. Who else has a question or a comment about what we just talked about? Transformational conversations, because that's the key. The goal was transformation for the other person, not just a transaction of let me give you some information about Plexus. Anybody else? Who else has a question? Or has somebody, you've got to join. What are you doing with the joins? Who else?
I'll just talk real quick because last week I had asked, and I don't know if you were on that call, Michelle, but I had asked Brittany about because we're in the midst of this hurricane, or the after effects of it, and there was a lady that I had reached out to prior to, had been having these conversations with, and and I was mistaken in my conversation with, in my thoughts of where that she was a realtor down in Florida, but she has family here in Hazelhurst next to us. And so, but after the call, I reached out to her, because Brittany was like, you got to judge where she's at and figure out what, if she's a realtor, she may not have a need, or a problem that you can solve with Plexus. Because really, when I first started, just to recap, when I first started talking to her, she reached out to me because she loves cruises. And it was one of those, messages that I had put on my note or whatever you call it on my messenger. And she's like, yeah, I want to, I love cruises. So I'm interested. Well, now the hurricane has hit and all that. Well, come to find out, she was a realtor helping a church family down in Florida, but she's actually lives in Hazelhurst. So I was just completely misunderstood. Long story short, just to kind of recap, I did reach out again and talk to her and just say, hey, I know this is a bad time. This is a bad time for everybody, but when you're ready, if you're ready now, but when you're ready, let's talk about Plexus. And I know that I could help you in a standpoint, the mind frame of whatever word I'm trying to say here. I'm mixing words together, but in a, from a stance of helping other people, because I know that's what you do. And this is, and she's like, well, when all this is over, we can talk. So then, of course, my balloon was deflated, but I understand. And my concern last week, and again, maybe some insight where you can help me with this, is how do you, again, talking to people, and it's my confidence. I know that this can help, but if you're in, like me, I'm in 14 days. I'm trying not to cry, but I'm in 14 days of the midst. I mean, I do have power at my office. I do have power at my mom's house, but I hear a generator 24/7. I'm having to take lukewarm showers, but praise the Lord, I've got a generator. All those things. And I'm going, how can I talk to people when I'm in the midst of this? But I also know that this business is going to be here long after this devastation. And I know that it can help. So I'm trying to pull myself out of the pit, in that mindset pit, to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and to say, hey, this, I know you're in the middle of this, but let me help you. But again, it's just, I don't know. And maybe, and that's what Brittany said, maybe she's the one that I just put on the back burner till, and I start reaching out to people that are not in the midst of this. And that's kind of, I guess, another part that I'm stuck at, where it's the chaos of everything. And then I'm going, okay, which direction do I go in? And the comfort is to reach out to the people I've talked to before. Does that make sense? That's where my comfort zone is. And I've got to get out of my comfort zone and talk to people that I haven't talked to, which is not an issue for me. But at this moment in my life, everything is an issue for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, 14 days without power, it makes a lot of sense. 100%.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
the first thing I would say is be gracious to yourself, Amy.
Yeah.
Be gracious to yourself. We are in this for the long haul. We're not in this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be Emerald tomorrow.
And that's the mindset. And I do, it is the long, and I have gotten 2 joins. I mean, I'm grateful. I am grateful because these are people that I've talked to in the past. So these 2 joins are from my previous work. So even though I don't feel like it's a lot of work that I'm doing, I'm still doing the work. I just, it is just that mindset of where I'm in the dark, and how do I show a light to other people when I feel like I'm just in the dark. So
Okay, so this is helpful. So number one, huge congratulations on having 2 joins with power out and all this chaos. I mean, that's huge. I think you need to celebrate that a little bit and not just discount that, Amy. Like, you got 2 joins and you've been out of power 14 days. I mean, that's incredible. Okay, so that's incredible. What feeling are you trying to create? Like, how do you want to feel right now?
For myself or for other people?
For yourself. Like, you're like, I want to be a light for others, but I'm in the dark. I've got this mindset stuff. I feel like I need to be doing this. Da, 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 da. What do you want to
I just want to not feel chaos.
Okay.
I want to feel peace. And I know that comes from God. I know that comes from the Lord. And I'm transparent. I'm not leaning into him. I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, I understand. And this is partly why I say be gracious to yourself.
Yeah.
What you're going through is hard, Amy. Okay, so peace comes from God. I'm not leaning into him. So, this sounds so much like me, the very thing that I know, and kind of like Romans 8, right? Or Romans 7, the very thing I know to do, I don't do.
Yep.
So what will cause you to lean into God if peace is what you're after? How can you
I
lean?
think this is why I get on these calls. This is why I miss Monday Night Lives when I'm not able to get on them, because this is what pulls me back. Because I don't do it on my own will. I don't do it on my own. But this is what brings me back. This is the reminder to lean into him. And then I go through the whole, guilt of, I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to have this. I should lean on him. I know better. But I also know that I'm tired.
100%.
And I know that's not what this call is about. I'm sorry, but it's just hard.
Don't be sorry. This is real. And this is exactly what the people that are going, like, that you're trying to reach out to, this is what they're going through too. Okay.
Yep.
So this is very real. And the first thing I would just encourage you to do is, when you get off this call, if you have time, for me, it's worship music. And worship music, and maybe writing or talking to the Lord, prayer. Just make time to be with the Lord. And that is the number one thing, because here's the deal. Plexus and Emerald aren't going anywhere, but you're going through things. And so are the people that you want to serve. So right now, make time, like you are seeing firsthand the effects of not being connected to the source of power.
Yep. Yep.
So go connect yourself to the source of power.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a playlist that I play, and it's been, God is in the room. Um, He won't, fear is not my future, all of those, that when I get in that moment, I'll pull up. I'm pulled up to work, and that's what I do in the mornings. I just sit and cry because I gotta not cry in front of my family. And it's just, but then I turn on the music and he brings me through it. And just, I get so frustrated with myself because I fall back into it's not even a pity party. It's just, it's just the enemy, but you're right. I mean, I'm gonna be able to show people that even through this storm, this business, I'm still getting paid. I'm still connecting with people. You can still do it. Even in the hard times, you can still do this.
100%. But here, I want to even take a step back. We're in a people helping people industry in a business, and what you're going through is hard. And I think just being able to even say that, like, I'm on day 14 without power. This is hard. There's some days I just want to cry. If you're in the same situation, I am praying for you. This is not fun. I get it. It's hard. And with the woman that reached out about the cruise, you just reach out to her and say, I get it. This is
Yep.
hard. I'm on day 14 without power. I'm not going anywhere. How are you doing? Tell me, how
Yep.
are you really doing? Like, just care about her, Amy. Care about
Yep.
her. But then, and the step back is this, it's easy to say, I trust God with my business when you can see and you're working and you're striving and you're doing all the things. But when you really have to trust God and you're still doing it, like you're still showing up, but pressing into Him is the most important thing you can do right now.
Yep.
And trusting God with the results.
Definitely. Thank you. I'm so grateful that I think I saw Amber said there was no damage for her with the current hurricane. So I'm grateful for that. Anyway.
Amen. And Amy, I just want to again encourage you, be gracious with yourself. Coulda, shoulda, woulda isn't going to help.
Yep.
Sometimes the most raw thing, I mean, I just get before God, I'm like, I'm here. Help me. Sometimes the most powerful prayer you can just pray is help.
Yep.
And I feel like the older I get, the more I see how much help I really need and how little I know
Yep.
and how everything is God's grace and power in me. And, if He
Yep.
can use a donkey, He can use me.
I feel like the donkey, but yeah. Yep.
Well, this
Thank
is,
you.
I mean, I don't know if you can see the chat is blowing up. Everybody's saying how relatable this is, how much that helps. I hope this has been helpful, Amy, to press
Oh
in.
yeah. And I'll say that, Devin, I don't know how long you've been in this. You said I had to get off for a minute. I have a nonprofit, so I had a lot of volunteers, and so I had to hop off and check on them. But anyway, November will be 2 years, so I've not been in it as long as some others, but I am, in it a little while, and I've had I went fast. I went Ruby fast, and I've had the whole thing, but I've been in network marketing my whole adult life. I'm 55 years old, so I've got the experience, kind of like you with sales. But what I have found through this is having that mindset of the long game, because everything else I've ever done was get it fast, get it now, and then as soon as it got hard, I'd quit. But having that, and that's what I'm learning through this, through this hurricane and through this downtime where I don't have the internet and I can't get on these calls and I can't do this, that I'm really having to trust the work that I did prior to this, and the little bit of work I can do is gonna come to fruition, and I know it will. And now I'm also being more particular about, especially after listening to Brittany's podcast, listening to Noah twice. Pick who and it's crazy how many times that we've been told this, how many times we go through this, but hearing a 22-year-old with such insight on picking, he picked Chick-fil-A. He picked who he wanted to work for. He picked the people, and not being haphazard in that picking. And that's, now I'm going, okay, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to pick the people that I'm going to talk to, because before it was like I had all this time and I could just talk to everybody, and I want everybody on my team. Of course we want everybody on your team, but not everybody needs to be on your team. So anyway, this has brought a lot of that, acknowledgement for me to go, okay, I need to be choosy in who I want on my team, because there's not a lot of time, because this could happen again. We could go through this again, or we could go through something else, but I don't even know if that makes sense. But
It
this
does.
it brought me a lot of, I don't know what the word is.
Well, it sounds
I
like
just
it's
see clearly.
yeah, clarity, a little bit
Yeah.
of clarity. And here's what
Yeah.
I'll say. I think it's really important for you to take some time to think through all the wins you've had through this time. Some of them, some wins are harder to swallow than others. They don't all feel good, but look for the wins. And here, Eric Worre says this, which I thought was so great. If everything happens for you, not to you, and if there are no positive or no negative circumstances, but everything is a learning situation, what can I learn from this? Because no one can stop you from learning, which means no one can stop you from growing, which means no one can stop you from winning. So I think it's really important, after you spend some time with the Lord, to get back to the place of peace, knowing that He has your business, He has your team. Listen, Amy, last November, I was in Facebook jail for the majority of the month.
I remember that.
I was in Facebook jail. Free reset month, I was in Facebook jail.
Yep.
God gave me 12 joins that month. Now,
Yep.
even if I had only gotten one join, it still doesn't mean anything about God's love for me, my value, my worth, or anything. But I was literally like, I could not do anything in terms of messaging people. I mean, there were other things that I could do, but it did make me very clear on what can I do. So I had to learn. I had to get to a place of trust again. So, Lord, what can I learn from this? And then no one can stop you from growing, because that's the key. Remember the gap and the gain. Like, what can I learn? How can I grow? What's the measure of success? And that is priceless.
Yep.
And what people really want.
Yep. Yeah, and you're speaking of gap and the gain, and I decided, I don't remember what day it was, but I'm, now every day I'm posting, each day, and then I add a new thing. And I've had people reach out to me and say, thank you for that. And it's like, but I had to make myself get out of the gap. And even with the tears that I have and the frustration I have, it's not a gap. It's just, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But I see the beauty. I see our community that has come together. I see all those things. And so I've started making that list of each day, of the next day, of what I'm grateful for. And I, before the gap and the gain, and I've listened to it 3 times. I've read it, we're reading it. I've read it once now, but in that, I don't think I would be in this state if it hadn't have been for that. And then of course, Haley recommending my Christian counselor, but and none of this would have happened if it wasn't a Plexus, if it hadn't have been for Plexus. So, I know that there's beauty in all of this. And even in this situation, there's beauty that, God is provided for me, and the clarity and all the things. So now I don't I would love to say I can snap my fingers now and go, okay, I'm not going to strive anymore. But those are old habits that I have to break. Um, so
Well, it's a daily walking out, right?
yeah,
It's daily
yeah.
walking out. And I do think that there's something to vulnerability and even being able to post. I'm posting this list of what I'm grateful for. Here's true facts. I'm tired.
Mhm.
True facts. I cry every day.
Yep.
Because here's the deal. People relate more towards the struggle than they do to the victory. And so but I'm choosing to look, but I am tired. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
posting that too.
Yep.
So I'm
Those
proud
are
of,
my stories. My stories have been that. My stories have been the struggle side of things. And then, because I don't want that to be constant.
right.
The stories will go away. So I want them to see it, but I don't want it to
Sure.
be they go look at my page and see,
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Well, thank you, Amy, for being so
yeah,
real. We appreciate you. We're praying for you.
thank you.
We have about 7 minutes left. Anybody else have anything? Any questions?
I just wanted to say thank you to Amy for just being vulnerable and sharing that and getting raw and real because that whole conversation has really blessed me because I'm in a season of like really deep struggle right now myself. And it's extremely hard to trust God. And I've been fighting with every being in my fiber to just trust Him and rely on Him. And it's very terrifying because I don't have a job right now and I'm looking for one. And I have no idea how I'm going to pay my bills this month. So I'm just like walking in faith and doing what I can. Well, that's what's in my power to do. And it's terrifying. So I don't know. That was all just very encouraging to me as well. So I just appreciate you opening that door. So.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Devin. Praise the Lord. We will be praying for you for sure. And you're in great hands with Madison and Angela, and for sure. Anyone? Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple minutes back, but my encouragement to you guys as we go is to stay connected to your source, the source, and build your belief. Build your belief. Stay close to the fire and build your belief because people are desperate for hope. We have people on this call that are desperate for hope. And that's what we do. We literally help people improve their lives. That is something that I can get behind every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But build your belief, stay close to the fire, love and serve people because people are desperate for hope. And that's exactly what we're doing. Exactly what we're doing. All right, ladies, have a great day. Catch you later. Bye.